I'm live. I'm live. I'm alive. I'm live and alive. So far, 0 people. 0 people will ever see this. Just kidding. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it now. Look, here's me, right? This is me. And this is my Diana. Isn't she cute? It's not me. It's my Nana. I love her. Isn't she cute? She's so cute. My grandfather had her painted on his travels in Italy. This painting of my Nana was done in Genoa, Italy, when my grandfather was on his travels with the Merchant Marines in 1947. There's my Nana in 1947. And here's me now, 2026. I look like her. I'm lucky. I love her. She's the greatest. So, it's coffee time. How are you? I am TNT, not for president, just for person. See, I did the whole president thing, gathered signatures for a day, but then, or like a couple of days, but then I remembered that people are mean. Mostly my family reminded me, and I don't like attention because people are mean. So that was a short-lived thing, but it doesn't matter because I've still been made to suffer some pretty serious consequences. So as a scientist, I love to be like, what happens when? And then do things. It's called experimenting. And that's how I tend to live because I am a scientist after all. So I'll tell you when. So back in 2019, I was on this trip with my son and I woke up. Did you ever wake to standing? This was like a one-time occurrence for me. I may have already told this story, I don't know. But one time I woke up and immediately assumed the standing position. I woke up like this, upright, with orders. I woke up and I said, I have to run for president. It was like I got instructions in the night and they were confusing. And then when I was awake, I was standing up next to my bed and I had to run for president. It was like it was not a choice. It was like a directive. So I did a little. And it's been a punishing experiment, I gotta say. So that was several years ago. And my country's, not doing okay. We're like really hacked and messed with, and democracy's not safe at the moment. So anyway, so that's what happens if you're a little person like me and you want to be like, I want to make the world a better place for my children, and I don't want us all to die. I think we should protect the oceans and the trees and life, and that's controversial. As you can see, our government would prefer to be a weapon for genocide and endless war. So that's what it's being utilized as, despite what the American people might wish. We um, we have lost control. We've lost control. Our government's hijacked by pervs, special interests, rich people, um, money, oil, pharmaceuticals, and war, endless war, more and more endless war. It starts with infants. Like apparently infants are a big threat to the current regime. Um, so they I don't know. What am I gonna do on here today? So far, so we've recapped why I did it and a little bit of the bullshit I've endured since. Trying to find a different spot to stand. Let's try this one. How's this one? How's this for a spot? I like these paintings. I don't think they're paintings actually. I think they're like, I'm actually not sure. They might be painted, but I think they're embroidered. I never took them out of the frame to investigate. I like them. Yeah. Okay, so if I had been elected president, the things I was, and I never expected to be elected president. That's kind of an insane thing to say. Felt compelled to run for president. Never had the feeling or impression that I would win anything. I just thought I would bring some points to the conversation that needed to be brought to the table. So from my role as like an environmental scientist and a teacher, um, mainly, you know, no longer destroying the planet. We could prioritize health and humanity, water, and letting people be healthy and free and well cared for instead of exploited, brutalized, and endlessly poisoned, which is where we currently get. My cats. Did you hear her? She makes sound effects when she runs up the stairs. I think they help her. It helps her go faster when she's like. Those are the running sound effects. They make cats go faster. I think it's science. So anyway, we need childcare. So I was gonna prioritize that, and so that women can go to work. Because right now we have a government that wants us all to go backwards. I was a wife and mother and living in the suburbs, and like I say, my degree is in environmental science, and my intention was to be a scientist and work in the field. Instead, I ended up working in classrooms, which is fine, and I loved it. Um, but then I was home with my kids for many years, and that wasn't really my long-term plan. There was a lack of adequate, safe, and affordable childcare, which everyone deals with. I was also in an abusive marriage to a family that has really extreme ideals of their own that are, um, and they will impose them violently, is what I learned. So I was forced to remain at home with my children and do what my husband said was the idea. I never actually was willing to do that, but that's the kind of marriage I landed in. It was abusive. And when I tried to escape multiple times, everything just got worse, including the run for president, which was another attempt to escape. I figured my ex-husband would be like, I'm divorced now. I wasn't then. Um, but I thought my ex would just be like a Stedman down the hall, you know. I was just gonna deal with it, have a husband, you know, you have to have a husband. I couldn't be like a divorced woman and think about running for president. Hey, Isabella, how are you? Hi, welcome. Thanks for saying hi. Sorry I didn't see it sooner. So, um, thanks for watching. I'm not gonna hang up. I'm gonna tell you more. All right, so we were gonna have childcare. That was gonna be a priority. I was mainly thinking of just like doing real simple, you know, infrastructurally build it into malls, just come up with a safe template, and help prepare kids in high school to teach and have the jobs ready in childcare centers. We could have them in shopping malls, we could have them in strip malls, we could have them every high school can and should have a daycare where the students who would like to enter that field will have practice and practicum, and the town will have childcare that help meet the need. It's important, and it's a tool for this. You know, the agenda of our government is to suppress the voice and the work of women, and to reduce our power. And they can do that by reducing our opportunities and control us by keeping us in the home caring for the children by not providing affordable childcare. And that's a solvable problem that needs to be a priority. All right, what else? We need healthier food. We need big pharma off the farms. Farms should belong to farmers and humans, not to, they shouldn't be able to copyright like human life or seed life or life. Shouldn't be able to buy up and control and create monoculture and destroy diversity. Um, we need to protect our national parks and protect our forests and protect our rivers and stop letting these big corporations and special interests buy our government, buy power and control and impose what they want on the will over the will of the people. People, the people are not electing to have these miles wide, soulless, windowless facilities for storing data, destroying their homes and their quality of life, and they're killing their families and their animals and drinking up all the water and making the planet uninhabitable. That's not our choice. The people are not saying yes to that. That is meta. That's a meta dick being shoved down the throat of humanity. That's what that is. That is nobody saying yes to all our fresh water being sucked up by robots. No, we don't say yes to that. That's not a yes. That's a big fucking no. Take your stupid fucking infrastructure and figure something else out. Send it to space. We don't need to save every search. We don't know. We don't need to know what every fucking stupid person Googled forever. We don't. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to sacrifice water so we can hold on to scraps of bullshit. That's ridiculous. So, also that. So, no to data centers. Yes to childcare centers. Yes to national parks. No to clear cutting. No to Amber Road. No, we don't destroy the Arctic. And no, we don't further degrade the conditions of the natural world and the environment for the benefit of some megalomaniac's pocketbook. We don't say yes to that as a human population on Earth. We don't say yes to profits over people or profits over life or profits over polar bears. Profits over nothing. Profits are fake. You're all stupid. This whole thing is stupid. Just go home, stay home, chill the fuck out, stop driving everywhere, stop being overstimulated, stop being an over-consuming, triggered, conditioned to consume and destroy person. Just go home, chill the fuck out, grow a garden, eat some vegetables, stop thinking that you are missing some very exciting rocket ship to a more interesting place. This is it. Just like settle in, make a sandwich. Find some equally dumb person to spend time with. Or even someone slightly less dumb than you. That's a good way to improve yourself, reach. Get somebody just a little less dumb than you and spend time with them. Be like, wow, look at that. That person's not as stupid as me. I'm gonna pay attention. Right, Kitty? Kitty knows. We don't need to be driving everywhere, burning gas, and polluting the air. Oh, because we could all have electric cars, but the industry was killed because fuel, oil, 'cause the oil sucks. Understand? They don't care about life. They're like, money, burn this, make money. Yeah, burn it all down. What do we care? Profits. It's really stupid. We only have the one planet and the certain number of trees and the fixed amount of oxygen and the fresh water and the life that relies on the oceans and our health and all of it. I mean, why do I have to make a case for why the health of the planet's important? Why do I feel compelled to do that? Like, explain why we need trees? You like living in a concrete jungle where they made everything black and white and hot and soulless, remove the trees, remove the color, make everything look the same. We're literally being tortured. Our government's fucking evil. They want us tortured. They can milk us, milk our kids by the second. That's really it. They just want young, dumb, with credit cards or your parent or their parents' money, and then just stimulate them a little bit, release them in the bars, record them in their apartments, whatever all the creeps are doing. Creep culture. It's a creep perv controlled world around here, around everywhere, because they took control. I don't know if anyone else was paying attention, but there's this oversized troll from South Africa that's being allowed to just like be the world's driving dickhead. It's so ridiculous. So I don't know how you get to be like king creep. Well, I do know you just blow shit up apparently. You get emerald money from your parents, and then you just spend a lot of time blowing shit up and breaking everything, and you get rewarded with government contracts because president's a creep and a moron. And I mean, the USA is just like what are we? Like a mop? You use us like a mop just to sop up what? What are you sopping up? Our souls. Is it fun? Are you enjoying this? Because we're not. So anyway, I would be, oh, protecting children and the planet. Introducing the concepts. Like I said, I wouldn't have necessarily never expected to win a thing. I was hoping to bring the conversation about the natural world. to the table and keep it on the table. Like, we really need clean water. We really could have clean conditions for life. We really don't need to be trapped in our cars, being compelled to drive everywhere and being deliberately poisoned by everything around us, our food system, the roads, our educational system, everything around us, everything in our society has been contorted around money, not life, money. And on the condition that we don't have any, not money for us, not any money for real people. The money only goes to this hypothetical robot that's killing us. So stupid. So I was trying to escape an abusive marriage and trying to bring a little, because aren't we all? Really? And I didn't feel like I had a choice. I just did it. And I'm still being dragged for it. It's not like I knew there probably would be like a consequence or two, but did I expect to still being dragged 7 years later? Did I expect that my children would be taken from me, that my house would be gone, that I wouldn't have contact with really anyone from that life anymore? Did I expect to be summarily erased from life and my community with violence? Like, I was given 2 days to vacate my home because I lived in a white controlled suburb just south of Boston. And my evil husband was opposed to me being alive generally, but opposed to me having peace or opposed to me having success. Definitely on board with the helping the town and he were just like, wow, you hate her, cool, let's get rid of her, we don't want her here, she's talking about bicycles, that's scary, and inclusivity, she wants all the kids to know about baseball signups, which is get her out of here, you know, get those dangerous Dorchester politics out of this bucolic perfect little Milton. That's right, I said it. This is a fight between Dorchester and Milton. And it's a classic fight. It's gone on forever. It's the blue collar versus the white collar. It's the Puritans versus the whatever I am. I'm a wilding. I'm a witch. I'm a bitch. I'm an urban single mother raised, time on the streets, scrappy street only child. I That's me. You know, I'm not gonna not try to protect the underdog in life. That's just I'm never gonna not protect the underdog or try. So yeah, I picked a fight with Milton and I sort of lost. I mean, they definitely booted me. They definitely gave me 2 days to vacate. They definitely were like, "What's that rich husband you have pain and wife ass you want gone? We don't like her either. You have money? That's great. I want to be in politics. You can give me money and I'll just get rid of your wife. Bada bing, bada boom." So Richard Wells was a town selectman and he sent the police to my home on January 6th, 2021. You know, the day of the insurrection, same day. So he sent the police to my home that day, and it was the beginning of an effort to remove me from my home. He booted me. So Richard Wells booted me, and then he was elevated to state representative. So now you can go to the state house and you can talk to him. And I was doing that. I've gone to the state house. I've talked to people. He wasn't there yet. Now he's there. He was He was put there, rewarded. You boot enough housewives, you'll get elevated. They'll make you a state representative. You, you're allied with the right values. These men want to know that you will hate women and that you will get rid of a lousy housewife if she, you know, gets wise and starts thinking she can talk and leave the house and have opinions, run for office. First, I tried running for Parks and Rec, and there was like nobody else running. It was this very minor sort of thing. And then somehow, once I got involved, this was pre the president thing. They made it into a whole thing. There was like TV. There was like a recorded interview thing, panel. It was a whole ridiculous thing. But they didn't give it to me. They gave it to like a guy, somebody who knows all about Turner's Pond, gets it, gets it. Yeah, not me though. I'm unpredictable. I like bikes. So I think kids should be able to ride their bikes and not die, which is major controversy. I think everybody should be able to ride a bike. We live in like a major metropolitan area, but they put these hard boundaries, all these rotaries and places you can't pass, and not because it's racism. That's all. They don't want people of other races finding their way to parts of town where they're not wanted. And that's the fight against bicycles in Boston. That's what that is. That's just classic, same old racist bullshit as ever. Redlining. It's to keep people out. That's the goal. They don't want bike lanes because people might find their way through Milton. And that's dangerous. Can have unwanted transients passing through, right? Town with 2 baseball leagues. Town with segregated school system. One school where all of the diversity resides. That's ridiculous. It's 2026 and Milton has segregation. You can just look at the school pictures. Ask them to make a map. Remove all the faces. Just look at the pigmentation. Bullshit. That's what it is. It's all bullshit. So my big, tall, rich husband gave me the boot, and the police chief helped him. The former police chief, now state representative. January 6th, 2021. Insurrection Day. It came to my house too. The police. The police came to my house for no reason. Richard Wells, because my ex-husband, who was estranged, so I had a restraining order against him after a second physical assault, he was able to, my husband, estranged husband, was able to retaliate and have the police sent to my home. All he had to do was put in a call, have somebody he knows put in a call. Richard Wells sends the police. And I know the schools were also involved. Oh, and the schools were pissed at me for homeschooling. You know what I mean? They were pissed. I had picked a fight with them years earlier when I pulled my kids because when I realized the school system was segregated and it was sick and I wanted out. I didn't want to be part of it anymore. I wanted my kids out of a cult-like environment that the superintendent acknowledged was a cult, called it a cult. Collie cult, called it a cult. Mary Gormley, superintendent, Collie cult, her joke. I pulled my kids to homeschool and then I got my ass kicked because it's Milton and they don't play. They're like, you're going to be negative about Milton. We're going to boot you. You can't be critical here. This is Stepford wife Bill. Bill, you fall in line. You stay in line. If you step out of line, you'll get booted and brutalized. It's a cutthroat, unforgiving environment, and that's how they handled me. So because I engaged in politics, because I went to PTO meetings and I attended, including on that January 6th, 2021 day, when I connected via Zoom, because we were in a pandemic. Remember the pandemic? That's when all this happened. They booted me, a housewife. During the pandemic, my husband claimed I went insane and my house was messy. This is a lie. And they gave me 2 days to vacate. 2 days to vacate my home without my children. Never got my things, never got my children. And then my house just sat there vacant because my husband was already ready to go live with his new wife in her new home. The plan all along. Isn't that nice? Because my husband wanted a new wife. He was able to boot me, keep my house, keep my kids, do the whole thing. Thanks to Richard Wells and the Milton Public Schools. Because that's what they do. They back up wife beaters. They're like, we love domestic violence. Thank you for coming to town. You have cash. And we love that too. We love wife beaters and we love cash. Because we are Milton. Let's see what else. Oh, I know that it was Richard Wells, because his name's in the police report, as the person that sent the police to my home on that day. But later that night, when I was watching the school committee meeting, wouldn't you know it, James Jett, the superintendent at the time, shared his email screen for the whole world to see, and I was able to see the communications about my family from that very day. So it was he involved in sending the police, a school resource officer, and Richard Wells, and they sent her to my home. And then a couple of months later, after investigating DCF coming multiple times and all being harassed generally. That's how they're destroying families. They send in DCF, which doesn't do anything to help. They just come in, they torture you, they observe you, they figure out how to exploit you, they feed that money to your government, and you get booted. So, and there's a woman that was in the DCF office who's on the PTO. So, of the school that I was desperate to yank my kids from. So, guess what? Guess who is behind the scenes, completing the circle jerk and kicking me out of my home? The a PTO mom in the DCF office, hot out of Glover, where they put me when I pulled my kids from Collie Cult to homeschool because I didn't want my kids in a cult. And then my ex-husband put the kids back in mainstream against my wishes and against my will, without my consent, because he was against homeschooling entirely and had started torturing me more than usual because I chose to do that. So he allied himself with the schools. The schools sent the police, and I was removed from my home. So those were the consequences of dipping my toe into politics and living in the wrong town. And those are facts. That's not like a made up story. I'm not exaggerating. There's not like background there's no facts I'm leaving out. I'm not a drug addict. I'm not a criminal. I've broken no laws, done nothing wrong. I literally just married a rich, well connected man who wanted a wife to produce children. I already had 2 children. I was a single mother of 2 when I married my husband. And he kept my kids, all of them. He kept all 5. I got my oldest 2 sons eventually back as adults, but I don't have my babies. He kept them. They're with him and his new wife. I haven't seen them since January, and it's now June. And they're gonna torture me like this, probably for the rest of my life. They're hoping my life will be over because of the stress. They're trying to end my life. But well, and they're also trying to end my life like fiscally and emotionally and just generally draining the life out of me. And it's because I dipped into politics, not by choice. Like I said, I woke up compelled. I don't like politics. I don't like attention, and people are mean. But I did it because I felt like I had to, and I still feel like I have to. I feel like I have to probably do it again because my life is still fundamentally destroyed. My country is only further degraded. Our environment is only more under threat. We still have no child care, and now we have a rapist as a president who's emboldening other rapists and has a militia harassing American citizens and throwing people into concentration camps and already has more people in concentration camps than Hitler had in the first 6 years in power, something along those lines. So we're not doing well. We're not good here. Everything's caged. These people love chain link fences. It's taking me back to the last Trump friggin' torture chamber fest. Everything's covered in chain link fences. It's the weirdest thing. They're so weird. They're awful. It's awful. I don't enjoy having a white supremacist government that harasses citizens and torches the country and kills everything. This is not fun for me or anyone. I don't think. I mean, it seems like some people are having fun. I I guess if you like drive a big pickup truck and you love oil and you hate other humans, I mean, you're in your heyday. I don't know who else is like benefiting. I guess if you work for ICE and you suddenly have an income, and you should be like in jail for pedophilia and beating your girlfriend. You're thrilled to pieces these days. Those are the only members of the population that are thriving under this current regime. The pervs, the creeps, and the rich white business owners. Oh, and the politicians. The usual. So 7 years later, here's my face. I got these a little bit sad. A little bit sad. A little bit sad in a permanent way. That's what happens when you get your life destroyed. So this is my sad, sad American face. I hate it here. I don't want to be here. Everything hurts. Um, I really want to leave the country, but I feel trapped. I have no income, and I don't know how to get it. I have a lot of art. I would love to like sell what I make. I'd love to coach people. I'm a doula. I want to be working as a doula. I don't know how to connect with other people. I don't know. I keep trying. I don't have any human contact. I live in isolation. I'm like brutally isolated. I don't know where everyone's gone. I don't really have communication. My emails don't work. My Facebook messaging, I mean, everything's hacked. Whatever. So that's that. Now you know what happens if you're a dumbass and you run for president a little bit. You get punished. This place sucks. White guys are dickheads.